Live and on demand from the WNY News Now studios in downtown Jamestown. This is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now, TGIF. I'm Justin Gould.
And I'm Matt Hummel. Happening now, a teen drowned after jumping from a cliff. What we know next.
Plus, a local restaurant will be holding its grand opening ceremony this afternoon. But first, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is here to check out our forecast. Hey, Dakota.
Hey, Justin and Matt, and happy Friday. We made it to the end of another work week, and this is a bit different from yesterday because First Defense Doppler is quiet. We have nothing going on today, so we don't have that going on right now. So dry scan showing up on radar today. Let's go to the main graphic system, and I'll show you the rainfall totals from yesterday. And we had 1.44 inches showing up yesterday in Olean, less than an inch in over there near the Allegheny and Cattaraugus state line there. Jamestown officially at the airport 0.21, and look at Frewsburg, only 0.04 of an inch of rain yesterday. And again, we had those severe thunderstorms flying, but we don't have those showing today. So partly to mostly sunny today, cooler and comfy, just a tad breezy though, 72 to 77. This is below average high is 79, but the wind's still an issue, kicking up out of the west-southwest at 11 to 18, some gusts up to 30 miles per hour at times. We'll time out the weekend forecast, plus do we see any heat and humidity? We'll talk about it in a few minutes. Back to you, Justin and Matt.
Alrighty, Dakota, thank you very much. Our top story, Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputies say a 19-year-old teen drowned yesterday after jumping from a cliff into Lake Erie near Ripley Beach. Deputies say two 19-year-old men, both from Pennsylvania, were jumping into rough water. One of the teens was unable to get out of the water, and deputies said he drowned before emergency personnel arrived. The other landed near rocks at the bottom of the cliff. When first responders arrived on scene, they found him with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, due to those rough water conditions, the drowning victim's body has not been recovered yet. Recovery operations are underway right now. They're in Ripley and are expected to continue until the body is located. The names of the two men have not been released by police, and they say the investigation into the incident remains ongoing.
New York State Police say that a Forestville man made multiple harassing and threatening phone calls to a female victim. Police say 23-year-old Jesse Borello allegedly threatened the victim's life. Borello was charged today with second-degree harassment. He was processed at State Police Fredonia and transported to the Chautauqua County Jail.
And New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo yesterday approved a law allowing victims of sexual offenses, stalking, and human trafficking to hide their addresses from their offenders. Cuomo signed the measure and issued a statement saying it will protect survivors from, quote, further abuse by shielding their address from public view. The law takes an effect in 90 days and allows those victims to use a substitute address from New York's Department of State instead of their work or home address. Now, domestic violence victims were previously the only survivors eligible for the department's confidential address program, according to the governor's office.
And a new restaurant that will occupy the former Friendly's space in Brooklyn Square will open today with a ribbon-cutting ceremony this afternoon. Jimmy's Family Restaurant's owner and City of Jamestown Director of Development, Vince DeJoy, says that the restaurant will be run by Friendly's former manager, and it will offer a similar menu, serving breakfast, lunch, dinner, and ice cream at fair prices. Around 50 people, some of whom are former Friendly's employees, were hired as part of the opening. DeJoy says that Jimmy's is a play on Jamestown's famed nickname, Jimmytown, and in honor of his two grandfathers, who both went by the name. And this is not DeJoy's first restaurant venture. He and his brother Justin previously owned and operated Stage Left in the 90s, which is currently Forte.
Well, best of luck to him, certainly there. Exciting to see some life back into that Friendly space. And I know we've talked about this before, Matt, on the broadcast. That's our personal hangout down there. So it'll be good to go check that out in the coming days and weeks here as Jimmy's opens. Happy Friday to all of you. Hopefully you're doing well and enjoying some of the cooler weather that was out there today. I was surprised. I shouldn't have been, because I should have paid more attention to Dakota's forecast, but I was surprised to see a lot of fog on my drive in this morning, and rolling the windows down because it was enjoying the nice cool breeze out there. So certainly, I know Dee will have much more on the weather coming up in just a little bit. Hopefully you all are doing well in the comments. Saying hello to Wendy, TGIF to you. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us. Hello to Regina as well. Hopefully you are doing well. She says DeJoy had stage left and Hebner Heights, and now Jimmy's sounds worthwhile to check out. She says top-notch food every time I've been to the previous establishment. So certainly, we will hopefully see some great success there from that new restaurant. And I'm with you there on the food, always delicious. Victoria, hopefully you're doing well. Good to see Andrew, Jay, Renee, Pam, Mark. Jeff is here in Alberta as well. Hopefully you're doing good on this Friday. Brittany and Jay. Jay's commenting in here. He says, when is it going to snow? You cannot say that word in August, Jay. No. Coming up, more news. A famed pizza chain says they'll be closing hundreds of locations. Details next.
But first, New York State strengthens animal welfare rules for pet dealers. Dakota.
And we'll take a look at the pollen levels. It's still the grass and the ragweed pollen that we're dealing with right now. But yeah, the rain did help knock a little bit of it down. But yeah, allergy season is still upon us. We'll talk about the weekend forecast as WNY News Now continues in a minute. Don't go away.
Live and on demand, you're watching WNY News Now.
Now open in downtown Jamestown, Pearl City Hops, restaurant and tavern.
I have some real old-timey dishes on there that I'm just giving new life to. Like there's a shepherd's pie on there that's going to have some bison in it, real thick hearty gravy. Then I'm also doing beer flights. We're pairing it with a set of sliders, a set of tacos, and a set of mini rolls. So everything's going to have its own pair, so you can get a taste of a little bit of everything and all the beers. We don't want to be known as the restaurant in the hotel. We want to be known as Pearl City Hops.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
Happening now, commercial pet dealers will have to comply with new regulations in New York State intended to improve the living conditions of companion animals. The new rules were signed into law yesterday by Governor Andrew Cuomo. They include requirements that pet dealers clean animal enclosures daily, give pregnant or nursing dogs more space, and provide regular veterinarian care. Small-scale residential breeders or nonprofit animal shelters wouldn't have to comply with the new rules. Cuomo, a Democrat, says that anyone seeking to profit from the sale of animals should adhere to basic standards. The new standards go into effect in 90 days.
Well, Pizza Hut is expecting to close as many as 500 of its dine-in restaurants around the country. The chain instead says they'll focus on delivery and takeout. Pizza Hut, which is owned by Yum Brands, currently operates nearly 7,500 restaurants across the U.S. Yum CEO David Gibbs says that number would drop to 7,000 in the next 2 years. Now, some people aren't happy about the closing, including celebrity Chrissy Teigen. The model tweeted yesterday, "I love them and long live the Hut." Pizza Hut responded on Twitter saying, "Love you too. We're not going anywhere. When's pizza night?"
Drug overdose deaths have been a more rural issue for years, but a new study shows that urban residents are now more likely than those outside of cities to die from an overdose. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the numbers.
For nearly 10 years, the number of overdose deaths in rural counties across the U.S. exceeded those in major cities. But according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as of 2015, that is no longer the case. Researchers with the CDC's National Center for Health Statistics found that starting that year, people in urban areas became more likely to die of an overdose than those in rural areas. But who they were and what kind of drugs they used did vary. Men were more likely to die from overdoses in the cities, while women were more likely to fatally OD in rural areas. And when it came to what kind of drugs people were dying from, that varied too. The majority of deaths from heroin, cocaine, and drugs like fentanyl happened in the city. The less populated areas saw more overdose deaths from things like prescription opioids, methamphetamine, and amphetamines. Overall, preliminary data shows that those drug-related deaths have dropped slightly in the U.S., declining 5.1% in 2018. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Alrighty, Mandy, thank you.
Well, have you ever wondered if your cat is ignoring you or they just don't seem to know your name? Well, researchers from Japan wanted to find out, so they experimented to see how cats would react to their names in the cat's home and with their owner out of view. Researchers played audio recordings of the cat's owner and strangers saying nouns similar to the cat's name, and they finally the cat's name. They say most of the cats seem to react when their names were spoken, moving their heads or perking up their ears, which leads researchers to believe that cats are actually able to distinguish their name from other random sounds, but they choose to ignore our calls to come over and hang out. The study was published in Scientific Reports. So, Matt, I kind of have to agree with this. I mean, my cat is, well, there's a certain letter word that begins with B. That, you know who I'm, Mitty, you know who I'm talking about. She does not listen to anyone. And I think that's something with cats. They have that kind of personality where they're such an individual. And that's why some people say they're a little bit easier to take care of. You know, you feed them and you clean their litter box and they kind of do their thing. Dogs, on the other hand, I mean, you know, so loyal, they'll come to you whenever you call, and you have to take them for walks and things like that. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I just think the cats are a little more stuck up in a way.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you've house sat for Mitty before, and she doesn't really give you too much love, does she?
No.
No, that's the thing for everybody. It's just, it is what it is. We should bring her in one day. That'd be kind of, just plop her down here. She'd lay here, swat at us as we tried to grab the controls. What are you going to do? Well, hopefully you all are having a good day. Let us know if you have cats or dogs or what you have and if you agree with the study and what you think of it. Cindy chimes in. Let's see. Looks like a lot of people are... kitties, yes. Everyone loves kitties. You know that, Wendy. So she has 7 question mark. Is that how many kitties you have? Or I think they're talking about Jay maybe. I don't know, 7 cats. That's I've always warned my mom. I'm like, you know, she started collecting animals when my sister and I moved out of the house, and it's like, well, you gotta be careful, Mom, because you don't want too many, or else you'll turn into the crazy cat one. Michael says cats are awesome and have a personality. Mine come when called, so maybe it is just depending on the cat's personality. I mean, you know, that is all different. Renee chiming in, she says, my kitty was great. He knew his name and was Spooks as he came when you called. Best kitty ever, passed away in 2017 at the age of 18, mind you. That's incredible. Victoria says, I have a cat and a dog. However, I do agree with the study that I think they're just a little, you know. Totally agree with you there. Wendy is trying to figure out how she knows Jay. Okay, I see. So good to have you all here nevertheless, and thanks for letting us know what you think about that. I'd have to agree with you. Cats are a little, you know. Coming up next, Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is standing by with a live look at our weekend weather forecast.
And later, America's forest firefighting bear turned 75 today. Well, the details on that as News Now continues.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Not tomorrow, but right now on the WNY News Now mobile app. Follow local news as it happens.
Top story, a Forestville man's weather video has gone viral.
And stay informed with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network.
Our Matt Hummel is standing by live outside of Chautauqua County Court with more on this case. Matt, good afternoon to you.
Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
First Defense Weather, the Southern Tier's only live and local weather source. Now, here's Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter.
When my cat was alive, she knew her name. She just chose to ignore everybody. Here's a look coming from downtown Jamestown. We haven't showed this camera in a while, and all the visitors are currently in Jamestown right now, of course, for I think it's the week-long festival for Lucy, and of course, there's the National Comedy Center right there. And the temperature right now downtown, it's 71 with a southwest wind of 4, and the winds definitely were strong yesterday. Here are some of the peak wind gusts we had from across the region yesterday. The Dunkirk Airport officially clocked less than 40 mile per hour wind gusts, 39. The Jamestown Airport at 26 miles per hour. Now those are non-thunderstorm wind gusts. And speaking about the thunderstorms, we definitely did have a little bit of damage that occurred across the region from those storms yesterday. This is a report that came in from just south of Fredonia, that there were trees and power lines down on Route 60. And then also in Cat County also was not spared of the damage either. We had trees and power lines down in Olean, and then also in Portville. Trees and power lines down, of course. Portville is basically near the county line going into Allegheny County. And we had a lot of that yesterday, but the storms are done and over with, and we don't have any of that to contend with. Now, this beach hazard statement does remain in effect for basically Chautauqua County. It's for the Lake Erie shoreline. We have winds out of the west-southwest today, and with that, there is the potential for high rip currents and dangerous swimming conditions. So if you're going out to the lake to swim today, just be aware of that. There's a rip current or a beach hazard statement in effect for that. Tonight is the tractor pull at the Warren County Fair. If you're like me, you love this stuff. I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous stuff right here. And if you're going out to that, it starts at 8 o'clock. So we start at 69 degrees right at 7 o'clock. We'll dip down to about 54 degrees by the time it ends. We're going to guarantee you it's going to be dry, and there's going to be lots of smoke. We'll guarantee you that. Smoke and dirt flying all over the place. We're giving you the green light with a west wind 5 to 10. The winds will ultimately settle down throughout the nighttime hours. Cold front has plowed on through. This is the reason why we're cooler today, and also the humidity has dropped as well. Big, beautiful ridge of high pressure is built in now back to our west. This is also another reason why we're cooler. It's built in from the northwest. If you're looking for rain, have to head to Oklahoma if you want some of that rain, but none of this is going to be impacting us over the next several days. Next big thing, we'll go hour by hour. That's the next big thing for you. So hour by hour we go. Temperatures in the lower to mid 70s. We may top out around 76, 77 degrees. Lots of sun, but definitely not muggy. Here we go into the future, and 50 and 75 on Saturday, not 57, and a pair of 7s on Sunday. Both days nice and dry and comfortable. A little bit of humidity returns Monday through Tuesday, but not a single day next week will be a total washout, nor excessively humid as well. Sports is next. Don't go away.
When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news. WNY Sports Now is powered by Phone Zone of Jamestown. With the largest inventory around, we buy and sell our own merchandise at a price that can't be beat. Have a broken screen? We'll fix it. Learn more at phonezoneshop.com.
Rejoice, sports fans, it is Friday. Welcome back to WNY News Now. I'm Norm Rodriguez with a look at sports. On Sunday, the City of Jamestown Parks, Recreation, and Conservation Co-ed Softball League's B teams will begin their playoffs. All teams in that league will be in the playoffs regardless of final records. There will be a 10-run rule throughout the playoffs, and it will consist of a double elimination format. The Buffalo Bills won their first preseason game of the 2019 preseason on Thursday, defeating the Indianapolis Colts 24-16. Bills backup quarterback Matt Barkley passed for 126 yards and 1 touchdown. Ex-rugby player turned running back Christian Wade scored a 65-yard touchdown on his only carry of the game. For Indy, Chad Kelly, nephew of former Bills quarterback Jim Kelly, passed for 121 yards and ran for a touchdown, running for a team-high 53 yards on 4 carries. Buffalo will be back in preseason action next Friday as they will go on the road versus the Carolina Panthers. Tonight, with a 7:07 first pitch, the New York Yankees will play their second game of a 4-game road series against the Toronto Blue Jays. On a 9-game winning streak, the Yanks extended their first-place lead to 10.5 games over the Tampa Bay Rays with a record of 76-39. Meanwhile, Toronto is in 4th place in the same division at 47-71. J.A. Happ will get the starting call at pitcher for New York against Toronto starting pitcher Sean Reed Foley. The game will be televised on the Yes Network. That's it for sports today. Justin and Matt, back to you.
Alrighty, Norm, thank you very much. America's forest fire fighting bear turned 75 today. Smokey Bear was born in 1944 when the U.S. Forest Service and Ag Council teamed up to create a mascot to spread their message. Forest fire prevention had become a big issue because many experienced firefighters were overseas fighting in World War II. That left fewer of them available to fight fires at home, making prevention more important. Smokey's original tagline was, "Care will prevent 9 out of 10 fires," and then in 1947 he started saying what we all know today, "Only you can prevent forest fires." And to celebrate his official Twitter handle, he's asking people to post videos of themselves singing happy birthday to him.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Happy birthday, Smokey. And certainly I think as a kid, that's something I think resonates with a number of people. Especially, like, I remember at schools they'd have demonstrations and they'd bring in a giant Smokey stuffed animal or someone would dress up as Smokey. You know, that was really popular. So it's really cool to see for that long and to hear the history of where it came from, too. I suppose, they needed more people to be aware to help Smokey the Bear out. A wearing bear rhyme.
I like it.
That's
I
why
like it.
I kind of just came up with that right now. Dakota, do you have any fond Smokey memories?
Let's
Not
see.
this kind of Smokey, let me
tell you. I don't do that anyway. Actually, Smokey Bear is actually the older brother of Yogi Bear.
Oh, he is?
Really?
I don't know. I just made that up.
Oh. Well, we were talking about how there's such a difference between the two bears. Like, Smokey's real tough, and then Yogi's just like, where's the picnic basket?
Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
I could be Norm. I'm pretty good at that. We love you, Norm. So, that's really cool. I think certainly it is something that resonates with people. And Wendy says, wow, he's an old bear, and certainly he is. He's.
Do y'all see the meme of Tom and Jerry on Facebook where it's like they're elderly people and Tom has IVs and whatnot? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's.
So that's Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear. They could be hanging out at the Bear Nursing Home. You never know.
Playing shuffleboard.
Or they could be hanging out at the bonfire.
Playing shuffleboard. Cards. Bingo. Bonfire forecast tomorrow night. Beautiful. 71 down to 57. Clear skies. Couldn't be better. Low humidity. Get out and enjoy those bonfires. 7-day. Again, look at this. Really no humidity. Now, the humidity does come back a little bit Monday and Tuesday next week, but not a big deal. But we don't see any huge summertime heat or humidity over the next 7 or so days.
All right. Hey, looking forward to it, Dakota. Thank you very much. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We are back Monday with a look at all the news that happened over the weekend. We leave you with a live look of the HD News Now cam here in downtown Jamestown. One of those people are headed to the NCC. We may never know. Oh, boy. Have a good weekend.
Getting yourself in trouble.
I know. I love it. No, they're going to be a lot of good shows this weekend. I think it'll be cool.